You ever get the feeling your life is about to become a headline on some HOA horror forum? Yeah, imagine standing in your own driveway, minding your business, sipping a half-empty cup of lemonade, when a wall of red and blue lights starts strobing through the evening quiet. That was me, absolutely frozen, as two police officers walked up and asked, "Real serious, sir, did you lock someone inside your property?" I nearly choked on my drink. What? No, I just locked my own gate. And then I saw him, Ethan, the HOA president's teenage son, standing out by the curb, arms crossed like he was posing for his mugshot. And right behind him, her, Karen Reynolds. You know the type. Clipboard, phone, hair so stiff it could cut glass, ready to hand out citations for breathing the wrong way. Apparently, Ethan had called 911 because my gate was locked and the police weren't laughing. "Can we see proof of ownership, sir?" the tall officer pressed. That's when it hit me. This wasn't another nitpicky fight about grass length or mailbox color. This was about to go full circus, and I was center ring. If you want to know how the heck I ended up there, well, you gotta back up a bit. 6 months ago, I bought this cozy place on Cedar Ridge Lane. Nothing fancy, but the pond out front, the little porch, the peace. Man, I thought I'd found my forever home. That lasted what? 3 days? Day 3, I met Karen. She popped up in my yard while I was planting flowers, blue suit sharp enough to hurt your eyes, and introduced herself like she was the mayor. I like to meet all our new residents personally. Make sure everyone understands the community rules. Red flag, right? I told her. Actually, I'm not even sure my house is in the HOA. Realtor said the boundary got moved years ago. She just waved it off. Oh, everything here's under the HOA. I'll drop off your welcome packet and dues form. Monthly dues for an HOA I wasn't even in. I tried explaining again. She just nodded like I was background noise. That was Karen. She didn't listen. She enforced. Still, the first weeks were great. Fixed my fence, painted the porch, even rescued a stray mutt named Bruno. Thought I was living the dream, until the note started. First, grass too long. HOA violation. Then a pink slip for my fence. Then, one morning, photos taped to my mailbox, my yard. Red circles drawn around the problem areas. Karen, always smiling, always polite, but with that look in her eyes. Like she owned every inch of this place, including me. Then there was Ethan, her son, 16, always on his skateboard, always recording something. He'd call himself the HOA enforcer when his friends were around. One evening, I caught him filming me fixing the gate. "Hey kid, can you stop recording?" He grinned. "Mom says we have to document violations. Your gate's not HOA approved." I wanted to laugh it off, but deep down, I was boiling. So I slapped a heavy-duty lock on my gate. Not to be rebellious, just protect my space. After finding footprints in my backyard one morning, can you blame me? Didn't take long for it to spiral. That Saturday started normal, me grilling, Bruno at my feet, birds chirping, kids biking by. Saw Ethan and his crew hanging around my gate, pointing and laughing. Didn't pay attention, just kids. Later, the lock looked messed with. So I fixed it, put up a private property, do not enter sign, figured that'd be the end. Nope. That evening, I caught Ethan trying to climb the fence. "Get down from there." He jumped back, yelling. My ball went over. "There's no ball in my yard, kid. And you can't just hop my fence." He scowled, phone out, stormed off. 10 minutes later, here come the lights. The cops. The full parade. Karen showed up, yelling that I was illegally detaining public space. I tried to explain, private land, deed outside the HOA, but she wasn't listening. Never did. The cop asked for my ownership documents. And that's when I realized Karen had no idea the mess she was walking into. So, I bring out my paperwork, deed, title, property map. Cop flips through them, quiet, while Karen fumed, muttering to Ethan. Finally, the officer turns to her. "Ma'am, this property isn't listed under your association." Karen blinked. "That's impossible." But he pointed at the boundary line, clear as day. For a second, I thought she'd just walk away. Nope. She doubled down. "That map must be outdated. The HOA expanded years ago. We have jurisdiction." I couldn't help it. I laughed. "There's no trail behind my house, Karen. It's my backyard." Officer hands my stuff back, Says I can lock my gate all I want. Tells Karen she can file a civil complaint if she wants. Karen just gives me that icy smile. This isn't over. And I believed her. Because the next morning, war began. Woke up to a fat envelope taped to my mailbox. 5 pages of violations, fines stacked up like pancakes. For an HOA I wasn't even part of. I started to dial their number, then stopped. Karen thrived on drama. I decided to go to the zoning office instead. That's when I met Patty, the clerk. Pulled up my property records, printed out confirmation I was outside the HOA. "You're good, honey," she said with a wink. When I got home, Karen and her board buddies were waiting. All clipboards and fake smiles. "You can't just ignore the HOA," she warned. "You're expected to comply." "With what?" I asked. "With removing your gate lock, for one." Ethan, recording again, chimed in. "Mom says it's illegal to trap people." I just stared at the camera. "Then stay off my property, kid." It got more ridiculous by the day. Karen accused me of harassing minors. I pointed out her son was filming me on my land. She said I was making people feel unsafe. I shook my head. If wanting peace makes me the bad guy, so be it. She just smirked. "Then you'll have no problem facing the consequences." That night, sitting on my porch, I realized it wasn't about a gate. It was about power. Karen had lived there forever, had city council friends, neighbors who'd follow her anywhere, and a kid who saw her as a hero. When people like that feel challenged, they don't stop. They escalate. Didn't take long. That night, Bruno started growling. I saw Karen by my gate, with a crowbar. Ethan filming, flashlight on her hands. She was prying my gate open, the same woman who preached order. I stepped outside. "Karen." She froze. Dropped the crowbar like it was on fire. "Just checking for damage," she lied. "You were making damage," I snapped. Ethan stuttered. "We heard noises." I laughed. "You two need to stop before you end up in real trouble." She tried to play it cool. "We're protecting community safety." I told her one more photo, and I'd call the cops myself. She stormed off, but not before hissing, "You'll regret making enemies here." Next day, I called the sheriff. Deputy said unless there was actual damage, not much they could do. Suggested cameras. So I put up cameras, motion lights, everything. 2 nights later, caught Ethan trying to unscrew the gate hinges, on tape. Next morning, marched the evidence over to Karen's door. She didn't flinch. Kids make mistakes. I couldn't believe it. I called the deputy again. He promised to talk to them, but warned me not to expect miracles. A couple days of peace, then I found my gate wide open. Screws gone. And someone had nailed up a sign. "Community access path, do not block." By order of Cedar Ridge HOA. They were trying to make my yard public. Neighbors watched from across the street, whispering, recording on their phones. Karen was turning the whole place against me. That night, I watched my cameras. At midnight, Karen and 3 board members showed up, clipboards, flashlights, tape measures. Karen smirked up at my camera. I turned every light on in the house and stepped outside. "What do you think you're doing?" She replied, "Routine HOA inspection. You ignored notices. We have to document your violations." I laughed. "You're on private property, and you know this isn't HOA." She claimed they'd voted to include my property for uniformity. One of her board members looked like he wanted to disappear. Bruno barked. Ethan filmed. Karen screamed about noise violations. I threatened to call the sheriff. Karen tried to bluff. The sheriff had told her it was civil. "Great," I said, pointing to the camera. "You want this on the record?" The group slunk away. Ethan rolled down his window as they drove off. "You'll regret this, dude." I looked up at the stars, wondering how peace could hide above such chaos. I took it to the county again. Patty gave me 2 certified maps, stamped and official. "Hand this to the sheriff. This'll shut them down for good." On the way home, Bruno wasn't at the gate. I found him tangled in a wire snare by the fence, whimpering. Someone set a trap. There was a shoe print in the mud, small. Ethan's, probably. That was the last straw. I brought the video to the sheriff's office. The supervisor watched and said, "This is malicious. We'll pay them a visit." That night, a patrol car stopped at Karen's. Ethan came out, head down. Got a warning. Later that night, Karen was back. She tore down my gate, screaming, "You brought the cops on my son. You'll pay for it." That's when I realized she'd snapped. Next day, insurance call. Sheriff's report, everything documented. Deputy whistled at the damage. She'll probably deny it. I pointed to the camera. The footage doesn't lie. That night, I uploaded everything. Sent it to the deputy, printed Karen's angry face for the record. Next morning, a handwritten apology from Ethan. Please don't press charges. My mom's not herself. For a moment, I almost felt sorry. For the kid. I walked over to Karen's house to offer a truce. No more drama. No more trespassing. Let's just move on. She smirked. You think you've won? She said this neighborhood was about order. People like me ruined it. I just walked away. That night, a black car pulled up, 2 men in suits, county legal affairs. They talked to Karen, pointed at my house. Not police, not neighbors, lawyers. That's when I realized Karen had escalated this to court. That same night, an email landed in my inbox. Cease and desist from the HOA. Claims of defamation, pending dues, demands to remove my cameras, and restore shared access. The kicker? An affidavit from Karen, new boundary lines drawn right over my backyard. I marched to the assessor's office. Patty confirmed boundaries hadn't changed since 1998. She told me to get a lawyer. So I did. Clara Jennings. Calm, sharp, no nonsense. Don't respond to anything, she said. Let me handle it. For the first time in weeks, I felt hope. But Karen wasn't done. She hired fake security guards to patrol my property. I caught one, told him to leave, called Clara, and we filed an injunction. The sheriff started investigating. Evidence was piling up, trespassing, intimidation, even emails showing HOA board members paying off a shady security contractor. The neighborhood split. Some supported me, others sided with Karen. A few sent threats. You've made powerful enemies. Move before things get worse. That's when I realized she wasn't working alone. One morning, I stepped outside. My yard, my driveway. My fence, all spray painted. Rule breaker. Move out. My camera caught Karen, Ethan, and a third man I didn't recognize, broad-shouldered, tattooed, moving like he meant business. Clara saw the footage, recognized the tattoo. That's a hired enforcer. HOA's bringing in criminals. That night, Karen showed up in my driveway, hurling accusations. Ethan blurted out. I didn't mean to, she dragged him away. I knew she was coming undone. The next night, cops raided the HOA office. Found fake maps, invoices, proof of payments to the security guy. Karen went into hiding. Ethan left a note. She's planning something tonight. Get out. At 3 a.m., I saw her, red gas can, lighter in hand. She screamed at me, "You ruined me," and dropped the lighter. Flames tore across the grass. I grabbed the hose. Neighbors rushed in. Together we stopped it before it hit the house. By dawn, deputies found Karen's gas can, fingerprints and all. Ethan had called the police to save me. After that, the board disbanded. Karen was arrested and sent for psychiatric evaluation. The county shut down the HOA for good. No more dues, no more control. For a while, I still looked over my shoulder, expecting another shoe to drop. But peace, real peace, slowly crept back in. Ethan brought biscuits as an apology. Neighbors, once silent, started to wave again. Bruno healed up and chased squirrels like nothing had happened. One day, the county inspector told me, "It's over. HOA's dissolved. You're free." That's when it really hit me. I'd survived the worst kind of neighbor, fought City Hall, and held on to my home. I stood on the porch, Bruno at my side, the fence rebuilt, the gate repaired, the pond glinting in the sunset. I smiled, really smiled for the first time in months. But you know how it goes, sometimes, late at night, when the wind's just right, I swear I hear her voice, echoing, "You'll regret this, Davis." And every time, I just shake my head and whisper, "Not anymore." So, tell me, where do you draw the line between order and control? Have you ever had to stand up to the people who think they own your life? Drop your stories in the comments. Let's talk justice, community, and what it really means to call a place home.